Chapter 10. Now the Philistines were fighting against Israel, and the men of Israel went in flight before the Philistines, falling down wounded in Mount Gilboa. And the Philistines went hard after Saul and his sons, and put to death Jonathan and Abinadab and Malchishua, the sons of Saul. And the fight was going against Saul, and the archers came across him, and he was wounded by the archers. Then Saul said to the servant who had the care of his arms, "Take your sword and put it through me, before these men without circumcision come and make sport of me." But his servant, full of fear, would not do so. Then Saul took out his sword, falling on it himself. And when his servant saw that Saul was dead, he did the same, and came to his death. So death overtook Saul and his 3 sons, all his family came to an end together. And when all the men of Israel who were in the valley saw that the men of Israel had gone in flight and that Saul and his sons were dead, they went in flight away from their towns, and the Philistines came and took them for themselves. Now the day after, when the Philistines came to take their goods from the dead, they saw Saul and his sons dead in Mount Gilboa. And they took everything off him, and took his head and his war dress, and sent word into the land of the Philistines round about to give the news to their gods and to the people. And they put his war dress in the house of their gods, and put up his head in the house of Dagon. And when the news came to Jabesh Gilead of what the Philistines had done to Saul, all the fighting men came up and took away Saul's body and the bodies of his sons, and took them to Jabesh, and put their bones to rest under the oak tree in Jabesh, and took no food for 7 days. So death came to Saul because of the sin which he did against the Lord, that is, because of the word of the Lord which he kept not, and because he went for directions to one who had an evil spirit, and not to the Lord. For this reason, he put him to death and gave the kingdom to David, the son of Jesse. Chapter 11. Then all Israel came together to David at Hebron, and said, "Truly, we are your bone and your flesh. In the past, when Saul was king, it was you who wanted the head of Israel when they went out or came in, and the Lord your God said to you, 'You are to be the keeper of my people Israel, and their ruler.' So all the responsible men of Israel came to the king at Hebron, and David made an agreement with them in Hebron before the Lord, and they put the holy oil on David and made him king over Israel, as the Lord had said by Samuel. Then David and all Israel went to Jerusalem, which is Jebus, and the Jebusites, the people of the land, were there. And the people of Jebus said to David, 'You will not come in here.' But still, David took the strong place of Zion, which is the town of David. And David said, 'The first to overcome the Jebusites will be chief and captain.' And Joab, the son of Zeruiah, went up first, and became chief. And David took the strong tower for his living place, so it was named the town of David. And he took in hand the building of the town all round, starting from the Millo, and Joab put the rest of the town in order. And David became greater and greater in power, because the Lord of armies was with him. Now these are the chief of David's men of war who were his strong supporters in the kingdom, and, with all Israel, made him king, as the Lord had said about Israel. This is the list of David's men of war: Ishbaal, the son of a Hachmonite, the chief of the 3, he put to death 300 at one time with his spear. And after him was Eleazar, the son of Dodo the Ahite, who was one of the 3 great fighters. He was with David at Padamim, where the Philistines had come together for the fight, near a bit of land full of barley, and the people went in flight before the Philistines. And he took up his position in the middle of the bit of land, and kept back their attack, and overcame the Philistines, and the Lord gave a great salvation. And 3 of the 30 went down to David, to the rock, into the strong place of Adullam, and the army of the Philistines had taken up their position in the valley of Rephaim. At that time David had taken cover in the strong place, and an armed force of the Philistines was in Bethlehem. And David, moved by a strong desire, said, "If only someone would give me a drink of the water from the water hole of Bethlehem by the doorway into the town." So the 3, forcing a way through the Philistine army, got water from the water hole of Bethlehem, by the doorway into the town, and took it back to David. But David would not take it, but made an offering of it, draining it out to the Lord, saying, "By my God, far be it from me to do this. How may I take as drink the lifeblood of these men who have put their lives in danger?" So he did not take it. These things did the 3 great men of war. And Abishai, the brother of Joab, was chief of the 30, for he put to death 300 with his spear, but he had not a name among the 3. Of the 30, He was the noblest, and was made their captain, but he was not equal to the first three. Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, a fighting man of Kabzeel, had done great acts. He put to death 2 young lions going into their secret place, and he went down into a hole and put a lion to death in time of snow. And he made an attack on an Egyptian, a very tall man about 5 cubits high, armed with a spear like a cloth worker's rod. He went down to him with a stick, and pulling his spear out of the hand of the Egyptian, put him to death with that same spear. These were the acts of Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, who had a great name among the 30 men of war. He was honored over the 30, but he was not equal to the first 3, and David put him over his servants. And these were the great men of war: Asahel, the brother of Joab; Elhanan, the son of Dodo of Bethlehem; Shamath the Harodite; Halz the Pelonite; Ira, the son of Ikish the Tekoite; Abiezer the Anathothite; Sibbecai the Hushathite; Eliahite; Maharai the Netophathite; Hold, the son of Baanah the Netophathite; Ittai, the son of Ribai of Gibeah, of the children of Benjamin; Benaiah the Pirathonite; Huriah of Nahal-Gash; Abiel the Arbathite; Asmaveth of Bahurim; Eliab the Shaalbonite; the sons of Hashem the Gizonite; Jonathan, the son of Shaz the Hararite; Ahiam, the son of Sakar the Hararite; Eliphal, the son of Heper the Mecherathite; Ahijah the Pelonite; Hezro the Carmelite; Neri, the son of Isbai; Joel, the brother of Nathan; Mivor, the son of Hagri; Zelek the Ammonite; and Naharai the Beerothite, the servant who had the care of the arms of Joab, the son of Zeruiah; Ira the Ithrite; Gareb the Ithrite; Uriah the Hittite; Zabad, the son of Ali; Adiniah, the son of Shiza the Reubenite, a chief of the Reubenites; and 30 with him: Hanan, the son of Maacah, and Joshaphat the Mithnite; Uzziah the Ashtorethite; Shammah, and Jeiel, the sons of Hotham the Aroerite; Jejel, the son of Shimri, and Jah his brother, the Tizite; Eliel the Mahavite, and Jerubai and Joshaviah, the sons of Elnam, and Ithma the Moabite; Eliel, and Obed, and Hasiel the Mezobite. Chapter 12. Now these are the men who came to David at Ziklag, while he was still shut up, because of Saul, the son of Kish. They were among the strong men, his helpers in war. They were armed with bows, and were able to send stones, and arrows from the bow, with right hand or left. They were Saul's brothers, of Benjamin. Ahiezer was their chief, then Joash, the sons of Shammah the Gibbethite, and Jeziel and Pilat, the sons of Asmaveth, and Berekah and Jehu the Anathothite, and Ishmaiah the Gibeonite, a great man among the 30, and their chief, and Jeremiah and Jaziel and Johanan and Josabad the Gederathite, Elusai and Jerimoth and Beliah and Shemariah and Shephatiah the Haruphite, Elkanah and Ishai and Azarel and Joazar and Jashabim, the Koraites, and Joel and Zebadiah, the sons of Jeroam of Jedar. And some of the Gadiites, siding with David, went to a strong place in the wasteland, great and strong men, trained for war, expert in the use of arms, whose faces were like the faces of lions, and they were quick-footed like roes on the mountains: Ezra their chief, Obadiah the second, Eliab the third, Mishmannah the fourth, Jeremiah the fifth, Attai the sixth, Eliel the seventh, Johanan the eighth, Elzabad the ninth, Jeremiah the 10th, Mishbannah the 11th. These Gadites were captains of the army. The least of them was captain over 100 men, and the greatest over 1,000. It was they who went over Jordan in the first month, when the river was overflowing, and put to flight all the people of the valleys, to the east and to the west. And some of the children of Benjamin and Judah came to David in his strong place. And David went out to them, and said to them, "If you have come in peace to give me help, my heart will be united with yours, but if you have come to give me up to those who would take my life, though my hands are clean from wrongdoing, then may the God of our fathers see it and give you punishment." Then the Spirit came on Amasai, who was chief of the captains, and he said, "We are yours, David, we are on your side, O son of Jesse. May peace be with you and peace be with your helpers, for God is your helper." Then David took them into his army and made them captains of the band. And some of the men of Manasseh came over to David, when he went with the Philistines to the war against Saul, but he gave them no help, for the lords of the Philistines, after discussion, sent him away, saying, "He will go back to his master Saul, at the price of our lives." Then when he went back to Ziklag, there came over to him, of the men of Manasseh, Adnah and Jozabad and Jejel and Michael and Jozabad and Elihu and Zilithai, captains of thousands from the armies of Manasseh. And they gave David help against the armed bands, for they were all great men of war, and captains in the army. And from day to day more supporters came to David, till he had a great army like the army of God. These are the numbers of the chiefs of the armed men, ready for war, who came to David at Hebron, to give the kingdom of Saul into his hands, as the Lord had said. There were 6,800 spearmen of the children of Judah, armed for war, 7,100 of the children of Simeon, great men of war, of the children of Levi, 4,600. And Jehoiada, chief of the family of Aaron, and with him 3,700 men, and Zadok, a young man, great and strong in war, with 22 captains from his father's people. And of the children of Benjamin, the brothers of Saul, 3,000, for up to that time the greater part of them had been true to Saul. And of the children of Ephraim, 20,800 great men of war, men of great name in their families. And from the half-tribe of Manasseh, 18,000, listed by name, came to make David king. And of the children of Issachar, there were 200 chiefs, men who had expert knowledge of the times and what it was best for Israel to do, and all their brothers were under their orders. Of Zebulun, there were 50,000 men, who went out with the army, expert in ordering the fight, to give help with all sorts of arms, true-hearted men. And of Naphtali, 1,000 captains with 37,000 spearmen. And of the Danites, 28,600, expert in ordering the fight. And of Asher, 40,000 who went out with the army, expert in ordering the fight. From the other side of Jordan, there were 120,000 of the Reubenites and the Gadites and the men of the half-tribe of Manasseh, armed with every sort of instrument of war. All these men of war, expert in ordering the fight, came to Hebron with the full purpose of making David king over all Israel, and all the rest of Israel were united in their desire to make David king. For 3 days they were there with David, feasting at his table, for their brothers had made ready food for them. And those who were near, as far as Issachar and Zebulun and Naphtali, came with food on asses and camels and mules and oxen, with meal for food and cakes of figs and masses of grapes, and wine and oil and oxen and sheep in great numbers, for there was joy in Israel.